Hey guys, it's Blair, the Love Guru from loveguru.net and the aliennetwork.com, and I am at my first gun show, and I'm like really excited about it, which is hilarious to me. So I'm in the land. Let's see if you can see. I'll have to take other pictures here. So I'm in the land of pickup trucks and countrymen, real men. That's what I'm calling real men. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see some cowboy hats. I don't know. We don't really see that. We'll see flannel shirts. What else? I don't know. I'm just really excited. I'm not going in. I don't really like seeing guns. I'm just here to promote my freedom classes and maybe flirt with some guys. But I just feel really excited. So it's really like, it's something that I've like really come to appreciate, like the country guy. I've never been around that type of energy before, you know, like growing up in northern New Jersey, New York City area. But like when I moved out to the country, I really like grew an appreciation for like countrymen and like men who work with their hands and actually have some like real skills they can use in the world. You know, I come from Matrix land as far as like city. City is like Matrix land, and they strip you from all of your essential survival skills. And, you know, once the con happened 4 years ago and I was like, hey, I want to go like off grid or out to the country or what, like you come to really appreciate that. Like men who know how to build things, who know how to like take care of the land, take care of animals, know how to farm. I'm all into that. I love it. So I really like just really grew this attraction towards like these guys, and like here, like you see one like pickup truck after the next come in, you know, and you like start learning the value of like why guns are important to have. And I'm just like ridiculously excited. So I'm gonna go get out there and mingle with the crowd. And oh, I wanted to say, like, so I live in the city area now, like city-ish. It's not New York City, but it's like Pennsylvania City. And like, it is Matrix land over here. And when you're in this area, people don't talk about current events. And if they do, it's very much like the program slanted, woke type of way of looking at things, like the progressive, all of that. And then like when I go out to like the country, back where I was living, back where I'm moving back to, if I stay in PA, but like, which I think I am now for a little bit longer, but like, when I go back out to the country, so like around here, like I'm seeing all these billboards of like always report threats of violence and like, you know, all this like propaganda shit going on. When I go out to the country, which is not far away, but when I go out to the country, you see like freedom isn't free, you see American flag, you hear people talking about things and concerned about like what's going on in the world. Like you're back in the real like reality. You're not like gaslit all day long and around like, again, people who like don't understand what's going on or don't know what's going on or don't want to talk about it or like see things in a slanted thing. And granted, like people out in the country, like they have programmed ways of thinking also, but it's like easier for me to be around because it's like more in alignment with like where I stand on things and how I see things, and again the reality of what's happening in this world. So it's just such a contrasted life, which now I like really appreciate it. I hated it so much when I first was like brought to this area. My soul brought me to like the city area. Oh, I hated being in that like sort of, again, that like smart city type of thing. But now I love it because I have like the both worlds. I go back and forth. I have the sanity. I go in and out. All right, so I want to get out there. Again, like more pickup trucks, more men, and more men. Yes, I say yes. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, it's cold outside. It's really cold. All right, so I handed out around 80 flyers and I spoke to some people, and it was different than what I expected it to be, but it was fine. It was good. It was good. So I want to give you guys like a little bit behind the scenes, because I am a person who walks my talk. And what I mean by that is that everything that I teach you guys, and I teach everybody, like my teachings, I do that on a regular basis for myself. So more specifically, what I mean by that is that I'm constantly monitoring and checking and questioning my thoughts, my beliefs, the emotions that are coming up within me. I'm constantly processing stuff, constantly processing my biases, how I've been programmed, and things along those lines. And today was a perfect example of that. You know, I grew up in a very matrixy land. I mean, I didn't think of it like that back then because I wasn't awake to like what's going on in the world now. But it's always been going on. It's just got worse. And the levels of consciousness have risen so much that like you can't not see it, right? But so I grew up in a very matrixy area. And I grew up with guns were never talked about, okay? But like there was just like a general energy feeling of like, I guess we're not into guns, you know? Like I guess, again, I grew up in Jersey too. Like I think that it's maybe harder to get guns in Jersey. I'm not really sure, but it's not like Pennsylvania that has like this freedom feeling to it. Although a lot of that's kind of questionable. Again, it's like a lot of programming, but they're not, I don't feel like they're really standing up like they could be if they were like truly empowered. But so we didn't grow up, like I didn't grow up with guns around me or neighbors who had guns, or I didn't see guns. So like now I'm at this gun show. I didn't go in, but outside, and people are showing off their guns, and like there's a lot of people who are like all tattered up, like lots of tattoos, smoking. They're all different, like looking characters, you know, like than I'm used to, that I grew up with. Like, but like I'm standing there and I have been guided to come here today to hand out flyers, to talk to my people here. Because I look at them as, you know, my people. Like there's different elements of people being awake, and at least the people with guns like understand the importance of having guns. There's also probably some people there too. Like I have the programming from like mainstream media of like, this is funny. Like you see the pictures of those who do the shootings. Now, granted, if you happen to know more information about like the details of that and who those people are doing the shootings, then you know that things are not as they seem. We'll just say it like that, okay? Because I'm putting this up on YouTube. So, but like you definitely see the profile of like those men walking around. So you're like, I don't know, like you kind of wonder like, why is it that people want to buy a lot of guns? And like you have all these like preconceived, like again, programmed thoughts. So as I'm out there, I'm doing healing work on myself, like clearing whatever fears or paranoias I might have, or feelings of not being safe in my body or in the area. And it was also kind of like a little comical because like I was there handing out flyers outside, and this guy was watching me the whole time. And I was thinking, okay, maybe he's like undercover cop, like maybe he doesn't want me to be soliciting people. Like, you know, you get all these like thoughts in your head. And then he started coming closer, and I was like, okay, he's going to say something to me. Maybe he's going to say I can't be here. Which like, I mean, what's the worst going to happen? But again, it's like a gun show. So you kind of have like these fears about the whole gun thing, like people with guns walking around. Oh no, and I've always had these like fears since I was young. I think they're like from past life too, like past life, like memories about situations. I won't go into it, but, it ends up like, so I'm standing there the whole time and being like, Blair, you're fine, whatever. If he says something to you, who cares if he's an undercover cop? And like, again, there's a programming too that like, you don't talk to cops, stay away from cops. Cops aren't on your side. I didn't grow up with that programming, but I got it through the whole COVID thing. You start educating yourself about stuff. And that's what I had to also really clear, like very early on, during COVID, because I was guided to speak to a lot of the cops in my neighborhood, and in neighboring towns, to speak to the cops, to speak to the firefighters, to try to book an appointment with the mayor, with the police chief. And anyone who's awake knows, like, ha ha ha, Blair. And I was fully aware of it too, but I had to work through my fears and my anxieties, my paranoia, whatever, like the beliefs that were instilled with me. I had to clear through them and still be okay being seen, being heard, being visible in the community. So I've been working on this for 4 years. Obviously I've been on the path for 20 plus years doing my work, professionally doing healing work on other people and myself, but I've been on this path for a really long time. So I'm just sharing behind the scenes. It ended up that guy, he's not an undercover cop. He was just actually texting his friends and like waiting for his friends, but he looked all shady to me. He was wearing sunglasses. It's not really sunny out. Again, he was like kind of lurking by the entranceway. Like I had all these things going on in my head that I was like working through when I was standing there, and I saw him keep glancing at me and things like that, or I thought he was glancing at me. Meanwhile, it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. So that's what I was constantly doing. Like, it's one thing to be speaking out about all the stuff going on in the world online, to be hiding yourself behind a screen. It's a whole other level, actually, being out in the community and sharing this stuff, being seen face to face, feeling and again, if you're sensitive like me, if you're intuitive like me, or an empath like me, you're feeling people's emotions. I'm able to read people's thoughts. So I'm actually like picking up on that too. I mean, I can't read everybody's thoughts, but I'm able to get, that information as well. So some of these guys were stopping and talking to me, and everyone's on different understanding levels of what's going on. So, it's constantly a practice of like, how am I presenting myself? How am I presenting these freedom classes? How am I presenting the material to people that they can accept it and understand it and sign on to it and integrate it, and then get empowered and then get involved in what's going on? Because we all need to be united. We all need to be on the same page as this. And, part of the reason why there has been so much misinformation and disinformation put out there is because they don't want us united. They don't want us doing anything. They don't want us empowered. And that's my agenda, to empower people. So that's a behind the scenes. Let me know if that helps you, if that gives you some insight or inspiration to step more onto your path, or maybe to step more into your community and start being a visible activist, again, rather than hiding behind your computer, afraid of certain consequences that may or may not happen to you. Okay, loveguru.net, thealiennetwork.com. Bye-bye.